I know that this is actually real and it's not no placebo effect. I didn't know that shiitake, because I'm doing the whole cycle together because it's all good for you, right? That's what my girlfriend told me to do, so I'm just doing all of them. The shiitake one is for your hair, skin, and nails. I didn't know that this does hair, okay? Like a dummy butt, I'm just taking the whole thing knowing it's good for me. But one day I'm looking at my hair, I'm like, whoa, bro, like my beard is getting way more full and shiny. Even my hairdresser is like, your hair's looking really healthy. And I go, what have I been doing? Have I been eating something different? And I go, oh my God, it's a life cycle thing. So I looked it up and other people said the same thing. So if you want to be part of us, beautiful, healthy people, get Life Cycle now. It's in the description. Stop playing games with us.
One of the things that I say frequently to my wife and to people I'm close to is that what we talk for a living. And talking for a living means people think that most of the effort goes into the talking. And what I say very frequently is I would say 80% of the stress in my life comes from not saying things. Right? You want to say something and you're like, you know what, that's not smart. Yeah. You know what, that's a dumb thing to do. You know what, it feels good in the moment, but don't do it. Right? Self-control is extremely stressful and extremely energy intensive.
So you're saying to be a great speaker, you have to learn to not speak.
Yes.
Good, valid point. I'm going to take that in. I'm learning to be a good speaker that people could take seriously. I have to be slow to speak and quick to listen. I just did my first college experience with Charlie Kirk. Mm-hmm. And it was an amazing experience because I'm watching people express how they feel, and I love that. Even if I don't agree with you, I love the fact that we could still express what you feel. And there was a moment I wanted to share with you where the people that are amongst Charlie are obviously with our mindset of where we want the country to go. And it could be overwhelming for that one child that's trying to speak his point of view. And I saw him shaking. And he was saying some wild things that I couldn't even believe. But before I asked him any questions, I said, can I ask you one question? Are you at peace? Do you have joy? And he, while shaking, said, actually, I don't. And that made me realize, I'm like, okay, well, this is the time as Christians, or honestly, even a Jewish man would believe, you go and you take your hand out and you help this man.
Right. Good for you. That's awesome.
Everybody started booing him and yelling at him after another thing. And I got up and I rebuked the whole crowd. And I said,
I've done too. Yeah.
I go, you guys only have wisdom because God gave you the wisdom. So you smack down the man who doesn't. That doesn't even make sense. I'm entering the political version of who I am by telling people, don't lean on me for advice. I'm learning. And what I want to do is before I go and tell, the left side or whoever is the other side is, I'm trying to learn what my home is representing. And there's a lot of things that they're representing that they claim, but their practices are not really where our heart should be. What do you think my first step should be? Fixing our home and our positioning in our neighbors? Or going and standing up for what I believe in, even though people that are next to me are not behaving in the way that they should be?
Yeah, that's a really, really difficult question. I mean, I think that the obvious answer is you have to do both simultaneously, but it's very difficult. I mean, on the one hand, you're part of politics is always coalitional. You're always on a side with many people who you agree with on 80% of issues and really disagree with on 20% of issues, and so you're never going to achieve ideological or attitudinal purity on your own side. It's just not possible because it's many people. And so trying to purify is it's an ongoing process. It doesn't mean that you don't have the obligation to go out and preach your version of the truth from your attitude to the other side. And I love how generous you're being with people. I mean, I think that's wonderful. And I think also that brings followers as well. I mean, I think that the politics right now is incredibly oppositional. It makes for rock'em sock'em robots, and that's really fun to watch, obviously. Yeah. But the stuff that tends to generate long-term listenership is not just the rock'em sock'em robot kind of stuff. That sometimes gets people in the door, and then you actually have to give them some substance, and you have to actually, have longer conversations. I mean, I think that when it comes to my own brand, one of the things that we've really tried to do is talk with people outside our box. I mean, we talk to people across the aisle frequently. I have friends, obviously, who are not on the same page politically as I am. I try not to attribute bad motivations to the people who I'm arguing with. I try to say you're making a bad argument, but I'm not sure that it's coming from a bad place. And typically, I mean, I get flack from my own side for saying this, but I tend to attribute most things to stupidity or ignorance rather than to malice. which when the easiest thing in politics, the easiest game to play, and it's a game I really hate, is this game of the reason they're doing this or saying because they maliciously hate you. I like that game because it actually is impossible to come together with somebody who maliciously hates you.
I just don't even agree with that.
I don't agree with it either. I think it's
Who has that mindset?
I think there are a bunch of people on the right who have that mindset who